Look, the big move of the day that I said I was sort of waiting around on was this trade with Cleveland that sees the Jays getting Andres Gimenez. Man, it's an interesting deal. It's too soon to say if it's a good or a bad deal, but it's a fascinating deal. You're talking about a guy who is probably a top 3 defensive second baseman in all of baseball. Elite defense, Golden Glove, Platinum Glove type guy. But he's an expensive guy, and we're not sure what he is offensively. I think a lot of people would tell you to bank on not much. We saw him be elite in 2022 offensively as well. When you pair that offense with the defense that he always brings, you're talking about a superstar, one of the top players in baseball. But in 2023, his OPS ticks down like 80 points. And then in 2024, it drops way off again. And now you're left with this number and this guy that you're kind of like, is this the, and buckle up here a little bit, is this the Dalton Varsho of the infield? And look, you can have a Dalton Varsho of the infield. And you can have one in the outfield too. But it means you better have bats around them if they're not going to hit. You love to have defense that is this stellar. This is an elite player. But someone is going to have to hit. And if he's not going to, it means there needs to be pieces around him who will. And in exchange, going the other way to Cleveland is Spencer Horwitz, who a year ago maybe you'd have gone, yeah, well, good for him. But I don't know if you could make an argument that he was any worse than the Blue Jays' third best hitter last year. So if you're already not hitting enough, and now you're trading away an offensive piece and not getting offense in return, that's questionable. Now, I should say, young guy, under contract till 2030. And I get some of you are already rolling your eyes going, run prevention plus controllable years. That very much sounds like Mark Shapiro and Ross Atkins. And that's fair. That's a fair criticism. But you got to keep in mind that over the next couple of years, you don't know what Bo and Vlad are going to do. You know George Springer is coming off the books. You know, Kevin Gausman will be coming off the books. There's money to be had in his contract here. Gimenez, his is interesting. It's $10 million next year. No problem. For what he is, that's no problem. 15, it starts to tick up a little bit in 2026 to $15 million. And then for the last 3 years, like I said, he's under contract till 2030. He makes $23 million. And that is spicy. That is expensive if he can't hit. And we have to go into this with at least the understanding that he's probably going to be below average offensively. But there's money coming off, so you can make this work. And if next year, if 2025 doesn't go the way they need it to go, you're staring down a perilous future anyway. You're probably losing your 2 big stars. You're probably doing a rebuild. And at that point, who the hell cares what Andres Gimenez is making, right? Like, you're in a whole new world. Or you've been successful and you've kept some of your guys, maybe brought in some new guys, and you're happy to have Gimenez locking down that second base because you got thumpers somewhere else. You got guys hitting home runs in other places. That's no problem. When I look at this deal, what it says to me is the Blue Jays are not just confident, but are like pretty sure something is almost done, that they will be bringing in a bat from somewhere. They're not getting rid of a DH first base type like Spencer Horwitz who can hit for a guy who can't hit without a plan in place. And I'm not even saying a backup plan. To me, they already sort of know where this is going. And again, maybe this dates back to the Monday show where I'm giving these guys too much credit. Maybe I'm being too optimistic. But they're not stupid guys. You may not like them, but they're not stupid. You don't trade away offense for defense from an already offensively starved team without the understanding that offense is going to come from somewhere else. We're not worried. And Gimenez provides you some protection. If you think already that Bo isn't coming back and you want to trade him this offseason, you can move Gimenez to short, no problem. That'll work. Maybe that's not your plan. You're going to let Bo play it out for you next year because you're still either trying to re-sign him or you just need him to be a part of this while you try and get going in 2025. No problem if Bo walks at the end of 2025. Gimenez can slide in there, no problem. This is an elite defensive player, and it's not our money. So I'm not going to worry about it. It provides some protection in other places. It allows you to maybe do some other things. And I won't say yet whether this trade is good or bad until I see the full puzzle put together. Because there's no way this is it. There's no way this is the end of it. I'm going to wait and I'm going to see. And if this turns out to be the only move they make this offseason, then yeah, this is a disaster. But I don't expect that that's going to be the case. So we'll have to wait and see. And so when I say I don't know if this is a good trade or a bad trade, I don't know, but it is a fascinating trade. I can't wait to see how this plays out. Because it just says to me, oh man, there's more to be done here. They know something else is coming down the pipe.